It all started now. This day's a turning point in my life. The day I begin living my life from the inside out. And I am transformed. I am transformed.
Hi everyone, my name is Mirkovich, your host for Family Today. This show is for everyone. It's for parents, grandparents, and young adults. This includes art, culture, entertainment, and of course spirituality. How many of you heard the word haunting? And how many of you would like to know what another modality for healing is? Here with me I have a special guest. She's a filmmaker, she's an entertainer, and she will share with us a lot of good things. And here she is, Winter Gabriel. Welcome to the Family Today show.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It does sound unusual how haunting can be healing.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about that, or
Okay.
about yourself.
Okay,
What
sure.
brought you into that?
Okay, so I started as a musical theater entertainer.
Okay.
And dancing, acting, singing. I did it professionally. I toured in musicals all over the world, nationally, internationally. And I got to a point where I started to want to be in control a little bit more. When you're an entertainer, you're at the mercy of the people that hire you for a job.
Absolutely.
And I felt a little bit lost when I wasn't in a show. So I needed to take a little bit of take charge. So I got into teaching, choreographing, and actually helping to run shows and events and to cast them. I got married, I settled down, I had kids.
Yes.
Which is a lovely thing.
Sure.
And I found myself being asked to run a new event, not be in it, which is very unusual for me. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But they asked me to cast and run the haunted attraction, which is in Demers Farms in Hillsdale, New Jersey.
Oh, it is in New Jersey. Okay.
Yes, so that's in Bergen County, New Jersey. It's a haunted attraction, which is like a haunted house. It's the only outdoor haunted attraction in Bergen County. They asked me to cast it and to help run it. So at first I was like, okay, but I wasn't sure if I would have a lot of fun. And I said to myself, I've known one of the owners of Demers Farms, Jason DeGuy, since I was in nursery school. So we went to nursery school, a Protestant, a spiritual school.
A spiritual school.
Yes, and I said to myself, this is an amazing man, and anything he's connected to, I want to be involved in.
Because you like the man so much.
I like the man.
The way he thought, the way he was an artist, was he?
He is an artist in the sense that he took that farm and he's made family attractions and movies, and he created hay rides, and there's animals.
Wow.
So he's an artist, he's a businessman, and he's a spiritual man. And I know that everything he does, he puts his heart and soul into, and that it would be a good experience.
Everything that you put your heart and soul to becomes an art.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
So I said, okay, I've been a musical theater girl. I've never been a haunter, as we now call the people that are in these haunted attractions.
Yes.
Let's see what this is all about. And I have to tell you, I was blown away by the people that are haunters. This is not something they do on the side. This is their passion. This is their lifestyle all year round. They are haunting at Halloween time. Some of them go to events and they will be characters where they scare people. Sometimes at Christmas time and Valentine's Day, they have like scary, haunted Valentine.
I never heard of this before. And how does it heal?
Okay. Well,
I mean, how does, when you're afraid or you're startled, how does that heal a person?
so it's actually...
Because what comes to mind is like there's a saying, there's a lot of chatter about cold showers.
Yes, shock.
Shock. And now I'm beginning to experiment with that, maybe 6 months already, and I'm into it. You know, when I do something, I'm so, consecutive. I like to do it, I don't like to give in up, so...
You go full in.
Yeah, I go fully, thank you. So that came to mind as you were sharing.
Yes, well, that's because you're
Shock.
very intelligent. Shock therapy is actually something that they've been using for a long time. But here's the interesting thing. The healing, primarily, I saw, was having an effect on the haunters, the people doing the scaring.
Oh.
And that's because they were actually causing such a reaction in the people coming to the haunt. They were changing these people's mind state, making them scream, laugh, making them terrified, making them run, jump. And that had such an adrenaline rush effect on them. The haunters got so much satisfaction and joy out of it. To them, it is the most important time of their career is when they are haunting. So whatever they're doing for the day job, when they get to haunt, they feel like the best version of themselves.
Got it.
It is a healing thing. A lot of them have social anxiety and suffer from depression, but when they're in the haunt, they're like the stars of the show.
Wow.
And their spirits are the most lifted. Some of them have ADD, Tourette's syndrome. When they are in their haunt, absolutely. So I had a boy who came to me, and in his interview, he was twitching and he was stuttering a bit. I was a little bit hesitant to hire him, but when he spoke about haunting, it was with such enthusiasm and passion and confidence. I said, let's give this boy a chance. In character, in the haunt, none of those symptoms came. He was 100% in control of his body. Attention deficit disorder. This is another disorder that is rampant right now in our society.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, yes, it is.
A couple of my people suffer from that. My makeup artist, she in corporate world cannot hold a job, and in school she did not do very well because she couldn't focus. She's the most unbelievable makeup artist. When she's at the haunt, I've watched her for 3 hours at a time, focusing, doing people's makeup, these elaborate creations. She's a true artist. But it's not just glamour makeup, it's the haunt. It's the scary makeup. And when she walks the haunt, she's calm, she's dependable. So to me, this was a light bulb. Haunting is actually healing. Haunting is a therapeutic means for these people. And then the stakes got higher. One of the men in my haunt, Brian Butler, I knew that he was depressed from his wife. His wife, Kate Rehill, told me that he was unemployed and unable to work. He actually is in kidney failure, so both his kidneys are shut down. He's able to do the haunt because he was on dialysis, and dialysis is keeping him alive. She said that doing the haunt brought him back to life. We witnessed a man come to us and interview who seemed a little bit down, a little defeated, and in the haunt, he was spirited. He was excited,
enthusiastic.
He was our maze man. You could hear, he was in the maze, and the maze is very complicated.
Yes,
and very long, okay? So you're in
the movie The Shining?
Yes, okay, so you know mazes. You could hear him all the way down to where the hayride was.
Oh my God.
He came to life, and I said, the haunt is healing for him, yes, for his present depression, but what about if we tell his story in this documentary, share how haunting is healing for all these cast members, highlight Brian Butler, and get this man a kidney? So that we're not just using haunting as healing, but we're using it as a life-saving vehicle.
So let me ask you, where does the kidney come from when you ask? A
well,
donor?
I could ask you right now.
Oh my God.
It could be anybody, but here's the thing. So
it could be anybody.
That's people's reaction, right? So I want people to understand, and I will talk about this in the film. You can survive with one kidney. You would never be a donor. They put you through all these tests. If you have the same blood type and you are a healthy person, you can survive 100% with one kidney. The other thing is, sometimes, and I'm really reaching out in my film for a good Samaritan, a spiritual person that has a longing to do something in their life that is bigger than they are. They might want to donate a kidney to save somebody else's life.
Yes.
And there are people out there. So then it's healing for them.
It is.
And so
I could understand that, but you explain it. Go ahead.
Yes, well, that is when I further got like really excited about doing this documentary on Haunting is Healing, showing all my cast members, highlighting Brian Butler, and I realized The owner of Demers Farms and this haunted attraction went to Zion Lutheran private school. I went to this school. Brian Butler's wife went to this school, and one of our haunt characters went to this school. We realized that a higher power had brought us together, not just to make Haunted Orchard successful, which it is.
It is.
Not just for me to make a film highlighting how haunting is healing, but to save Brian's life. And we believe that. We are drawn to certain things, and we get signs from a higher power all the time. And I really believe that this is why I was cast.
I could get that. I think sometimes I hear different talk, and sometimes I hear a word that is said, maybe in a group, and I needed that word, and I believe it's from the spiritual realm, that I needed to hear it from that particular circle. And I do believe in that, absolutely.
And as artists, I think, you know, in order to hear the signs, to see the signs, we have to be at our most heightened, happy state.
Yes, also very aware, spiritually minded.
Absolutely.
We are all spiritual people, but some people are on automatic pilot, I always say that.
Yes.
Because they don't open up to the spiritual world,
and
spirituality.
Or they haven't found a way to open themselves up.
The vehicle to it, yes.
And for these haunters, I believe that haunting and scaring people is their artistic expression.
Yes.
And I think that when I was wrapped up with the haunters and watching what they were doing, I got the light bulb to make the film and how it's healing. And I do want to go back to what you said about how is it healing for the people coming into the haunt. It actually is. Because here's the thing. We all go through our day-to-day life. And like you said, we can go on autopilot.
Yeah.
We suffer from struggles of day-to-day life.
Sure.
Financial, marital, raising kids. It's hard. Sometimes crossing the street is hard, depending on where you live.
It's true.
You know, this is not an
That's
easy
right.
society, right? Going to a haunt puts you in a situation where reality goes away and you are immersed on a journey for the 25 minutes where you don't know what's happening next. You're being scared. You're being made laugh. You're in an altered reality.
Altered.
All because of these very skillful and crafty haunters.
So it is a different reality. It is, of course, yeah.
And they come out.
We are conscious beings, and we don't, you know, we have this form, but we're also very, you know, conscious.
Yes, and we need sometimes to be jolted.
Yes.
And to get out of our own way. And when those people leave the haunt, they are out of their own way, okay?
That, yes.
Some of them are screaming, some of them are crying, some of them are laughing, but they felt something. And that, to me, is the most powerful form of any art expression. We want to be moved. We want our state to be just on a different level than when we started. So it is healing on both sides.
So when you just started, did it make sense for you? Like when you just heard it the first time, did it make sense for you?
Honestly, I did not think of haunting as being healing. I had no idea what to expect. And I will tell you this is another reason why I was drawn to really highlight these haunters. I call them haunters. Some people might think of actors or characters.
Yeah. But these are real.
They're haunters. These are people, it is their culture, their whole.
Oh, there's a culture.
Yes, they're into horror movies. They're into, a lot of them are into the heavy metal music. Not all of them, believe me. I have an English professor. I have a medical practitioner. So there are some that are not, you know, that are completely on a different zone. But a lot of them share some common interests. A lot of the times they were the ones that were quiet in school. They were the ones that maybe didn't shine in their day job. And all of a sudden, their passion for Halloween led them to audition for a haunted attraction. And that's where they grasped their fullest potential. And they started shining and they got confidence and they found themselves. And I think that feeling and that realization led them to find the passion for being a haunter.
So who is the one that really started all of this? I'm thinking as you're speaking, there must be a founder of this.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because if we think about who started, first of all, Halloween is the second most popular holiday right now.
And a lot of people are not a fan of it, you know that.
Yes, and so this I understand.
Yeah,
I
me too.
understand. But if you think of it in a perspective of a time to just be somebody that you're not, totally fictional, completely safe environment, I'd like to say that our haunted attraction, or we call it haunted orchards, because we have these outdoor orchards.
Yes.
So you get to walk through all these apple fields, and we have all these characters that come at you, and they're like zombies, and they make you laugh, they make you scream. No one's allowed to touch, so you're not going to get hurt. We're a very clean, family-run business, okay? So there's nothing that's not tasteful. Is it child-friendly? I made it child-friendly for a certain block of time.
In what way?
Well, we had some kids that
Because
just...
I was thinking that before. I said, what about the children?
Okay, very good question. So when you think Halloween, you think kids.
Yes,
If you want to be a good business person, you're like, who's going to buy the tickets?
Sure.
Children and their families. Originally, a lot of these haunters were resistant to that. They're like, no, we're supposed to be really scary. We're hardcore. Our goal is to make them turn around and run out the door. And I understand they're really about scaring, and that gave them the adrenaline rush and made them feel really accomplished and successful. But what I found is a lot of children and a lot of families really wanted to experience it, but we needed to dial it back. So we created the mild scare. So I would walk through with any family with kids under 10 years old. And I would announce, mild scare, and then the actors immediately knew to just tone everything down.
Tone it down, yes, for the
Maybe
kids.
show that they were actually not a zombie, or we have like a guy that's in a morgue and he's really scary in a white coat and he holds his fake knife. He looks real, okay? Maybe that guy would just say, hey kiddo, you know, break character a little bit so that the families could go through. And that's a very bonding experience for a family as well. To experience a hayride, they get to go on a hayride, and to see that their children and the adults, the children got to see the adults get scared. That was my favorite part.
Is this a place where there's apple picking too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So you need to check out Demers Farms. Demers Farms is in Hillsdale in Bergen County, New Jersey. And it is a wonderful family farm. And they have apple picking, they have pumpkin picking, they have farm animals that kids can feed, kids can pet, like a petting zoo. They have produce, fresh produce, beautiful flowers, and they show movies, and now they have the haunting orchard.
So is that separate from the
so Haunted
apple
Orchards
picking?
is
It must
in
be
the
a
fall.
big place.
And I would love to plug a little bit. It is a very big place. There's a store. There's the farm, and then there's the place where the Haunted Orchards attraction takes place, and that's up the hill and in all their orchards. And that is where they set it up, and that's where I filmed. So what I did was...
Are you a filmmaker? Do you film these things?
So my job was to cast the haunters.
Okay.
And to help make sure that the event runs smoothly every night. So I would check up on the actors, make sure they were in makeup, make sure everybody was happy.
So you're also a director?
In a sense, yes. And again, this was new for me, but yes, in a sense. I mean, I will say a lot of these experienced haunters are self-directed. They've been doing this for a long time, so they have their character. You put them in their designated spot, and they create the magic. Some of them were brand new. Oh, that's the other great thing about being in the haunt industry. Young people, old people. There was teens that we hired and put them in the orchards. There was adults into their 70s that were seasoned professional haunters, and everyone in between, different races, different religions. It didn't matter, and they became a family. And I also think that that's very healing.
But what comes to mind is there's certain religions that are against all of this. What would you say to that? For example, I think even the Catholics would be a little bit...
My mother-in-law, I hope she's not
disarrayed.
watching this. My mother-in-law, yes,
Disarrayed.
said exactly the same thing that you said. You know what? If you just take it as the magic of Halloween, not so much, not going into the story of witches, and a lot of the reasons why religions are against Halloween is because they think about what the witches represented. They represented an evil. We just have a cast of characters that they have no recognition to any back religious meaning.
Okay.
So and it's just a light, fictional fun time, and it's a feel-good time. So I would urge anybody that was hesitant to just take it as an experience, and I think they might change their mind. And
They might.
I think that they would, and I think that it's sort of like just take it as the magic of creating characters. I look at it as a theatrical event. Nobody has any problem with a musical or a play or singer singing a song. To me, this is an art form. It's just another theatrical event.
It's another theatrical event.
That's how I would look at it.
Yes,
You asked,
you.
Yes.
But a lot of people, you know, it's winter. It's
They might, but a lot of people
Angel
didn't
Gabriel.
mind. I told her Angel Gabriel.
Angel Gabriel.
Well, that was another sign. I had to keep telling people, if you can't remember my name, just think of the
Gabriel.
Angel Gabriel.
No, but Winter is a beautiful name too. I
Thank
always
you.
loved your name, Winter. Winter.
Well, you know, I believe there are no coincidences. The fact that Angel Gabriel is an angel, perhaps that I'm Brian Butler's angel that is helping.
Oh, you are Brian's butler angel.
His wife was my best friend since
Okay.
nursery school. We went to a
And he
spiritual
needs a
school
kidney.
together.
Just so
He's one of
we
the
could
actors
recap
that needs,
what you said
and you'll
before.
see it in the film. So the film is either going to be called Shock Therapy,
Shock therapy.
or we're going to call it Haunted Orchards Documentary. You asked me if I filmed it. What I did was I filmed footage of the haunt while the characters were in action. So I captured them doing their parts. I got the haunt when nothing was going on, and that was kind of creepy. So it was like kind of quiet and dark and spooky. I interviewed every person in the haunt. We have over 30 people in our haunt. They talked about their lives outside of the haunt. They talk about their love of haunting, how it's healing for them, what it does for them. I interviewed the owners. I'm myself the last to be interviewed.
But who interviews you?
I'm going to have...
I do.
Yes, you do. You're the first, and I hope many others, because I want this story to get out there. I want people to see that haunting is healing. And
You're really working at it with the passion.
Yes, I
could
want
feel.
Brian Butler to
Yeah.
be healed. Everybody, right now, Brian Butler is a name on a 5 to 7 year wait list for a kidney. Brian actually is in the hospital as we speak. He had fluid around his heart, over a liter removed. His body shut down.
Oh my God.
But we did not lose him. And I will tell you.
But he's waiting for 7 years?
Yes, but we're not going to wait 7 years.
Okay.
We are going to get this documentary made. We're going to show it at Demers Farms in the fall. People like yourself are kind enough to put us on your show. I've had magazine people write a story. There's a reason that you reached out to me.
Yes.
Because we are going to make Brian Butler a name that everybody knows, so that he's not just a name on a list.
Well, you first told me that I liked something on your page from Facebook, or you liked mine, and then it you know, like the light bulb came to you, right?
Yes.
And you had to write to me, and you wrote to me, Maria, could you be kind enough for your show? And I, you know, out of the blue, I said yes.
Yes, you did.
Because I did have other people too, but I said, you know what? This is the perfect time. I'm going to say yes. I don't know what got into me to say yes immediately without knowing your story.
I know you didn't know.
I didn't. And you said something to the effect. That it was almost like a miraculous thing.
It actually was miraculous
that
timing.
It was miraculous timing.
I'm going to tell you that the
Yes.
day that you reached out to me, Brian was admitted to the hospital. And to tell him that I had an opportunity to be on the Family Living show with you, it boosted his spirits like nothing else.
You mean this Family Today show?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Of course. It was a gift to him. I really believe it helped him through his surgery. And you should have seen the family outpouring of love from the Haunted Orchards cast. They decorated his room. They came to visit him. They wrote him words of encouragement. The owner of Demers Farms, his name is Jason DeGeis, brought him food. They've been feeding him for a week now.
Jason DeGeis.
Yes. And he also has a business co-partner, Jimmy. Jimmy tends to like lay low, and Jason tends to be like the more of the outgoing guy. But again, we went to the same school together, Jason and I, and Brian's wife, Kate, and my friend Chris Gander, who's also in the haunt. We're helping Brian through his journey. We're helping to showcase a bunch of people that use hauntings.
So right now, excuse me.
Sure.
Right now, we only have a couple of minutes left.
That's okay.
Right now, he is in the hospital.
Yes.
This gentleman, say his name again.
Brian Butler's in the
Brian
hospital.
Butler is in the hospital waiting for a kidney
Yes.
donor.
Yes.
A kidney donor. But he was ill or sick 7 years? He's waiting? No.
He actually found out he went to all his checkups and he got a check done a year. It had been a year since he saw a physician and they said that you're in complete kidney failure. So they started him on the dialysis. And that is how he was not working, but he was able to be a part of our haunted orchard. So there was a silver lining. And I need to mention that he got married on Halloween.
Oh my God. Oh.
They had a Halloween-themed wedding, so
Wow.
everybody was in masks. And I hired him because they have an anniversary costume Halloween party every year, and I went to it, and I'm like, oh, he would be really good in the haunt, because he wasn't a haunter like some of these other guys. So I know we have not a lot of time. I want to say that haunting is healing, not just for Brian, because we're going to find him a kidney, but for all the people in the haunt. It gets them past social anxiety. It gets them past depression, things like Tourette syndrome, ADD, a sense of feeling misplaced in society. It gives them their place. It gives people family.
Oh.
They keep in contact all year round, not just when they're doing the haunt together in the fall.
But
all
they keep
year
contact
round, they get
it's like
together.
a family.
Yes, and it helped a lot of people through addictions.
Would it be okay to say family of haunters?
A family of haunters, 100%. They are proud of that title. They are proud of what they do. And if you saw the effect that it had on them and all the people that go through the haunted attraction, you would see what I mean. In fact, I'm going to invite you.
All right, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you,
Thank you
Maria.
so much.
Thank you so
and
much.
Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. Next, we will have a great show for you and your families to enjoy. So until then, I'm Maria Mirkovich. Goodbye for now. Thank you.
Started now, could not figure which way to go. Saw the light, took the path of leaving.